Hi there, in this video I'm going to show you how you can know which section of your website convert the most and which section of your website is the weakest point and what you can do with that piece of information. Okay, so we're going to use Google Tag Manager to do that. In rules, ensure that your website and Google Analytics 4 are communicating. And when they are communicating, you should be able to pull the data from your website to your analytics tools and be able to see the information and use that to improve your website. Then we are going to use Google Tag Manager to create a behavior that allows us to know whether the upper fold of the website is converting or not, or the middle side of page, middle section of the page is the place that is weak or not, or the footer, which is at the bottom of the page. How website visitors use website. When traffic comes in, wherever you share your links, they come into your website, they stop at the upper fold section of the page, which is the hero section. What you do there is going to make a big difference between the traffic leaving your page or staying there. The next thing you do is the middle section of the page. You need to be strategic on what you put there to help people stay there and convert. And the last thing you do is the bottom page of the website so that people visitors that get to the footer of the page actually take action. So website visitors use website in 3 steps: the top, the middle, the bottom. It's only when they've seen something they're looking for on those sections that they stop by to take action. So what we are going to do now, we're going to use Google Tag Manager to actually measure the behavior. Where did they click? How long did they stay? What did they do? That information will help you to know to plan your next website updates, okay, in a way that is strategic and help you improve users' experience and turn visitor into paying clients. And we're going to need 2 things from Google Tag Manager. We're going to need tag and we're going to need triggers. And why we are combining the 2 is because we want to see what section did they stop, how long did they screw, and what action did they take. We're going to try with trigger the human behavior, and then we need to give the trigger a type. So we are giving it a name, going to give it a type. All these are what is possible, what you could look for. But the purpose of this video is that we want to know which section of the page converts the most. So we want to know, is the top converting the most, or the middle, or the ending? For us to do that, we need screw depth. So screw depth allows us to see how far did they go before they actually click the button. So we're going to click that. That's what we need. And this allows us to understand users' experience in the vertical screw and also in the horizontal. So we're going to select the 2. Now, Google Analytics, when you use it with Tag Manager, allow you to measure or to see the percentage of how long people scroll the depth of the page before they take action. You could see the data up to 90% of it, and you can choose what percentage is important to you. What I will recommend is to go with all the percentage that you got. So we're going to do 10%, we're going to do 25%, we're going to do 50%, and we're going to do 90%. And we're going to do that for both horizontal and vertical. And what you use to separate the percentage is a comma, all right? So when you come to window, I would recommend you view the full Windows load, so that allow you to see what's happened there. Another thing is this trigger needs to have a starting point. Which page on your website do you want it to have a starting point with? You can choose to go with all pages if you want all pages you want to observe the behavior in all pages, or you could choose a specific page. What I do recommend is use pages that you're going to act on. If you know that you and your team can only implement information on only 5 pages, please track those 5 pages in terms of users' behavior. If you know that you're going to implement everything on all the pages on your website, depending on the size of your website and the size of your team that you're going to help you implement it, then go for it. What you don't want to happen is to make yourself feel overwhelmed by this information, because data is good as long as you can use it. If you're not going to use it, so there's no point of getting the data that makes you feel overwhelmed and make websites sound more complicated than they should be, and boom, you are not using the data. So I would recommend you start with what amount of data you could use, and that go with the number of pages you want to measure. All right, choose all. You could choose selected pages that you want. It's completely up to you what you want to do. So for the purpose of this video, let's go with all pages. Next thing we want to do is to click save. Next thing we are going to do, give some tag to this. Tags allow you to create an event that will match the action. So in the tag, we're going to click, you just click tag here, and it gives you all the option of tag you have, and then you click new tag. We're going to give this tag a name. We're going to call it human behavior. I just say tag. What I do recommend with naming your event or trigger or tag is to name something relevant. Name it relevant to what you are monitoring. Name it relevant to what you are aiming to achieve. And also use names you can remember. So don't go with fancy names that you would not use, okay? So name it accurately. The next thing is for you to click on the tag type. So you need to give it a type. So when you click here, you have so many options of what's possible here. There are a load of stuff that is possible here, okay? But for the purpose of this video, we are going to focus on Google Analytics tracking, okay? So we're going to click that, and we're going to go Google Analytics for events. We want that event to track the behavior that happened on this section of your web page so that you have enough data to help you act on the information. And the next thing, now we are here to create the tag. We need to give this event name. So event name is the activity that is actually happening inside the web page. So we're going to call this human behavior page section. So again, name it something relevant to what you're monitoring. When you click here, it gives you all the things you could name your page. You could select any of this if that's what you want to do, but I like to give it real name of something I would use. Then the measurement ID, you usually find that in the admin section of your Google Analytics. So you go to your Google Analytics, click on admin, and go on the data section, and you say the data stream, you'll be able to see the measurement ID right there. Okay, let me show you how that works. So when you click admin, you come to data stream. Okay, property setting, you come to data stream. And when you click on data stream, which of them you want, then you put your measurement ID here. We are going to create 3 parameters for the purpose of this conversation. The first parameter we want to create is page view sections. So we're going to click here to see what option we have here. What I do recommend is for you to use built-in options, which allow you to see more than what show up here. If you click on built-in section, it allows you to see all this. These are all the behavior you could literally measure. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to focus on measuring page URL. And under this section, you could choose what is it about the page. I'm going to say choose the page URL. I'm going to measure the page section view. I want to see what section did they view and what happened when they do that. Parameter number 2, I want to set up is a percentage of that page view. Now people have got to the page, they have viewed the page. How long did they scroll before they take action? That's what I want to know. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go through all these. I use built-in to be able to see the feature that is available. And I'm going to scroll here to see. So all these are options, but I'm going to go on scroll depth units. Okay. That's my second one. And what I want to see under the scroll depth unit is going to be the scroll depth threshold. You could always use built-in to see more options if you want to, and then scroll all the pages. You could also use the search bar here to type in what you want if you already know the name, and that will come up for you. So this is what we're looking for in this option. Parameter number 3 that I want to measure is the page pathway. How did people come into the page? Where did they come from? What did they do? Let me use this. Building. Yeah. So that's what I want to measure. I want to see the URL of the page I'm measuring, the depth that people scroll, and what pathway brought them to the page. And when I'm done that, I'm going to click save. Do you get this pop that say no tag is selected, meaning that you need to select a tag for you to trigger the behavior. You can save it and then come back to it later, but I just want to demonstrate to you how it works. So add the tag. So because we name our file accurately based on what we want it to do, I'm going to just say one of the file names we got before, which was human behavior. So you can name it anything, but name it something that is memorable and related to the actual result you want to get from the page. We have already done our human behavior tag, and we have linked it to the event of activity we want to see, which would help us say whether the up, the middle, or the bottom page is where people are taking action. Another thing you could do is to add another behavior about clicks. You could do that to the events sections and add more to it. You can always come here. When you come here, you can add more parameter. You could do something like clicks. I'd like doing that as well. You come here and say click elements, and then you come here and add something like text the click, which call to action is converting. So you could test out different type of text word that you put on the button to see if we kind of use 3 call to action on a page, and you want to use different words on each section of the call to action. This is one way you test that out. So you test on the text clicks and see which text did they click the most. Did they click the hyperlinks in the page, on the page, or did they click the actual button? It's very, very good to track that as well. Like to track on a page is something like form target. The form was targeting which group of people, and then the value you want it to have is something related to form. I like to track form because it helps you know how many people are signing up to your newsletter. So I like to use the form ID. That's another thing you could track. And you can go on and on with the parameter, but please don't go wild with the parameters. Use the parameter you actually want to measure. Goes down to the page objective. What is it you want to do with the page? Like, what is the top 3 things you want people to take action on the page? And when they do take the action, it's going to lead to them buying stuff from you. That's it. Once you know that, you now identify what parameter will be useful to what you are doing. And once you get that parameter, you can now know what targets require, what need to trigger the behavior measurement you want to see. Hope you find this helpful and have fun with it, because data makes a lot of sense and meaning when we actually use them. Okay. I hope you'll be able to set this up and use it to help you understand users' behavior on your web page and help you improve it, give them better experience, and also turn those website visitors into paying clients. If you want me to work with you and your team to help you make sense of what's going on with your website, to help you turn your website visitor into paying client, whether that means improve the traffic that is coming to the website or convert already existing traffic into paying client, feel free to drop me a message.